How's it going, everybody? My name is Asbiel, and I am the Guildmaster of the Guild of Legends located in the heart of the multiverse. And instead of our usual plans for Minecraft on Thursday night, decided to play something a little bit different from that. Just a little bit. Jumping back into Satisfactory because it is the very picture of an addiction. So, we've been up to some things since the last time I streamed this. We had our plastic and rubber factory established up the coast, and that is where we kind of left off once we had that all up and running and everything was all good to go. And I've been doing some things off stream to knock out some of the research the research that I have available to me right now, which is most of it. Most of it is done now. I believe there are 3 trees not complete out of a total of 7. I could be wrong with my numbers, but the point is all the same. We have most of the objectives complete. I think what we're actually going to work on, since we have our power situation kind of sorted for the time being, is we'll probably find a spot that's kind of away from everything else so we're not too cluttered. Maybe over here somewhere. Reestablish the space elevator and set that up to work on one of these other phase objectives that we haven't done yet. But you can see here I've got a bunch of materials stowed away. The only thing that we're really sitting on, these are the completed materials that I need. These are the incomplete. Yeah. The only things we had left we were working on were the programmable splitters and the geothermal generators. The generators, I think, would be worthwhile to get some spikes in our power output for relatively little work. Obviously, the materials are costly, but the fact that you can set up the geothermal generator and it's just kind of its own situation, and it's always going and all that is really handy. Obviously, our purple power slugs, we have yet to find one of those, so we haven't done that. That'll be easy to finish once we get there. And then for this, we don't have the packager yet, so we haven't done the turbo fuel. Otherwise, we've got the materials. I know where to get a hard drive pretty quickly, so I haven't done that one yet, though. This one we need the turbo fuel, also aluminum, so we haven't done that. And this one we need radioactive material, so I haven't done that either. So it's really just the Caterium and the purple slug that I have available to me currently, but we'll get to those when we get to those. I have also set myself up with some things here. I think something I would like to do is make some gas filters. I think that'll be good to have kind of as we're going along. We're just going to go ahead and do that, get rid of all those, because we know roughly what we're going to need. So we don't need the thing to tell us what we're missing. So I'm just going to get 200 of each of these real quick and put together some fabric. I do have the thing to make fabric, I think, already, but but that would require more work in setting up refineries and things to process that. So I haven't done that yet. I could be wrong. Maybe I haven't gotten that yet. I think I have though, because I think that's in the mycelium tree. Just out of curiosity, don't have any copper sheets. I'm gonna actually see if I have any that I can grab real quick, because I know I've been kind of ransacking all of my materials lately. So a lot of my stuff was actually completely out. Looks like we've still got plenty of these, so no worry there. Plastic, however, for the heavy cost that I was looking to do, setting up handcrafting for these MAM objectives, it's a bit much for what we've got. So that is still something that that is why I haven't finished that part. And that is why anything that we do that's going to need plastic is probably going to take a minute. Oh yeah, that's my ammo crate. So we're going to go ahead and make these gas filters so that we'll have those. That way, if we're out and about and we have the opportunity to get, say, a purple slug or something and it's in some gas, we're ready to go. Oh, I could make some explosive rebar too, which could be handy, but I think with everything else I've got, I'm probably good. Actually, you know what? If I make the explosive rebar, that means I don't have to carry an obelisk, and that means I don't have to carry the detonator, so that might be just a better way to go, actually. I am a bit of a fan of the explosive rebar. I don't know what its its area of effect is in relation to Noblisk, but it seems to get the job done well enough either way. All right. So with that, I'm actually going to grab this back. I'll go ahead and swap those two. And let's go ahead and just for now, let's go on a bit of a power slug hunt. Around here, we're probably more likely to find blue slugs, maybe yellow slugs, but if we get the opportunity to grab a purple slug, then I mean, that's the hope. Let's see. This is another of the biggest benefits of the explosives, is being able to take these things out. Obviously, it clears out the terrain as well, but these guys are at times an even more frustrating problem. Obviously, with the gas mask, they're not an issue, but whoa, overshot quite a bit. With the gas masks, you know, they're not so much of an issue. Wow. I am clearly no platformer. But if we can take them out, why not? Now, one upgrade I'm really looking forward to that I don't have yet is the jetpack. That will make things a lot nicer. I noticed a few times I was already kind of like jumping around and stuff as if I had the jetpack, trying to, you know, take my jumps further and stuff, but just out of habit, because I haven't had the jetpack for a while. I think I had it on my previous save that I streamed on, but this is an entirely different save that doesn't yet have that unlock. All right. Guessing it's up there. But let's check it out. Maybe there is... I don't know the map back and forth, so it is still a lot of like exploration for me. I've only very lightly explored the map, so let's see if I can place a ramp here. We'll just do the jankiest method of ascension ever. Actually, you know what would work a lot better? If we just do this, and then get one of these. Let's do that a bit more centered. Get some Metal Gear ladder going on. And that went a bit high, but we'll probably be fine. I'm sure there will be no downsides to the way that I've built this ladder. I'm sure there will be none at all. See, it works. This one we can... That still seems off. That seems too tall, but the other next tick down seemed too short, so I don't know what was going on there. Still not quite there. Let's see. Come on now. No, go to the side. You monster. Alright, well, this ladder doesn't need to be that tall. And now we're up here. And that's going to be our first purple power slug. Which is a nice benefit to have. We can finally have that... Whoa, almost threw myself off there. There's a purple slug down there. Let's see how we can get there. We're just gonna take this descent a bit slowly. Oh. Looks like we're still above it. My plan is to just, once we get roughly level with that landmass, we'll just build across to reach it. Make sure to take our ladders out of the way so that we don't have to worry about those. Looks like we're a bit below it now, so that should be sufficient. Maybe we're not below it after all. But you see, it's hidden in the rocks, so we're gonna have to fix that. It's interesting that the slug renders further than the rocks do. We're being very liberal with our use of these explosive rebar, but that's no issue at all. We'll just make our way back, and we're going to hit up the MAM for that research that we can do now for the purple power slug and have that taken care of, never have to worry about that again. Have that one fully complete. That is sort of our goal here. The most sort of very basic completionist perspective on what we want to do. Kind of wanted to see if I could take out a bunch of those rocks without stopping. Right. Remind me what it's going to take. I'm going to need to grab some frameworks, which we'll find just over here. This is where my frames are. This is fantastic. So for the cost of one purple power slug, we can research them and actually make use of them moving forward. Just go to the power slugs, hit that. And that is another tree done. So once we have like 12,000 plastic that we can invest, we can get these done as well. We'll go ahead and process the materials that we did pick up along the way. We're doing pretty good on power shards now, considering that considering what? I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and burn this. Oh, I thought I actually had some plant fibers left, so I guess I'm not going to burn them because I don't have them. So I'll just stow my mycelia, protein, and we've got everything normal left over that we usually carry around. You know what I'm going to do? Just because I kind of don't like carrying it, I'm just gonna burn the one rebar. And in it goes. But we got 21 principal tickets, so let's get that. See about getting some unlocks. Now, always gonna hit management first, because that has some really useful things right out the gate. I'm not really building buildings, so I think I'll forgo the walls and ceilings and stuff. But beams and concrete pillars I like. And I do want catwalks to match the railings that I have, because I like using those. That's 11. From there I could unlock a bunch of these. Or a couple of these, rather. Maybe we'll get the... We'll get the asphalt, and let's go with the coated concrete. Then do we have a single ticket option here? You know, I could get the cyber wagon, but I'm not going to. Not really anything in organization that's worth getting too much, because I don't really use lights, because there's not much. Oh, I miscounted. I thought I had an extra ticket there. There we go. So we get all those so that we have them, just in case we want them. Not that we terribly need them. Now what did I say I was going to do? I said something, alright. We got our slugs, so we should set up a Oh, you know what? I said I was going to set up a production line for our phase 3 things. To do that, we're going to need some materials that we don't have. So we're going to do a little bit of handcrafting, as we occasionally do. But since it's not part of a... Actually, no, you know what? It is part of a... It's technically not one of the phase requirements. It's for a building, so... Yeah, I'm not going to bother with it. We're going to just handcraft some things to kind of knock this out real quick and get this going so that it's all ready to go when we do eventually need it. More desperately than we currently do. Make sure we have an abundance of some materials that I think are going to be useful and some basic materials as well. Go ahead and throw those back in. Now, we're going to have to go and get some plastic. Plastic is kind of the hot thing right now, and what I might do is once we get over to our refinery, which unfortunately you're not going to have to watch me go and jump around that entire way. I've set up a hyper tube to get us there. But once I do get there, I'm probably going to want to change over my rubber to start making plastic so I can start outputting that more quickly. I could set up a second refinery just for plastic because there's more oil around, and I could set up a refinery in a different spot that would work just fine. But I'm not sure if that is super necessary just yet. The MAM can always wait. The important thing is to get these phase components going. While we're on our way, let's go look something up real quick. Okay, so I was double checking to see if either of these two remaining phase objective materials were going to be needed, so I could determine which of them to make first, so that the one that's needed for the next phase would be already constructed. But it looks like neither of them are actually needed for phase 4. So I'll probably just go ahead and take a look and see which one seems more complicated. I know one is based on motors, one's based on computers, I'm pretty sure. So we'll probably do the motors one first. But yeah, we look here, rubber is completely full, plastic is far from it. We're just going to take all of that. Getting packaging will be really great. Honestly, I had to set up a refinery that's just going to start using this stuff. How disgusting am I going to be with this, though? Already it's starting pretty bad. It's going to need water as well. Alright, so let's take a look over here. I can make a refinery like... Excuse me, sir, you are not where you belong. Get. Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, so I could I'm gonna have the refinery go right here. I actually want to go in the other way. Place that backwards. And we're gonna need more foundations for this. This is gonna be... I'm already disgusted by what I'm doing. I wanted it more flush. It doesn't matter. So this is going to be residual plastic because we're going to try to feed into the plastic output. This is going to need a water extractor over here, which will need a pipe feeding right into here. We'll just do one of these. Let's go upgrade that for some slight future proofing. This should have an abundance of both things coming into it, so that should be good. In fact, let's go wild with it. We're going to overclock it as much as we can. We'll just give it Mark 3s. To kind of feed that as much as possible. And then this we will feed into the almost spaghetti-like nightmare that is this situation. We're gonna need a... We'll do a merger here. Oh, this is atrocious. Truly nightmarish. A travesty, one might say. And just have that going across the whole way, so that will feed into the plastic output, which will feed into here, and then of course if we do hit a point where our plastic is too much, it'll feed into the it'll hit this point, which will feed it into the overflow, which will just burn it all. So that is some of our plastic solved. Let's see if I can knock out these modular frames real quick. Do I have the materials? What am I missing? I'm missing screws. I need 100. And since we're over here... Yeah, you know what? I don't need to make these over here anyway. What else did I want to do over here? Right. I wanted to turn my... It's just... Since we're passing by. Are you rubber? You're rubber. So let's have you start making plastic. And this needs 10, so you're going to be brought down to 25. Because the petroleum coke is not super necessary. We just have it going because we can. Or rather, because we need somewhere for the oil residue to go. But then if we dump more black powder into this, we'll have more smokeless powder, which we need for our rifle ammo and stuff like that. So, alright, I think we're done here. So we'll go back, we'll get screws, we'll make our modular frames, make our manufacturer, and then see what we need to assemble these phase components. All right. Believe it or not, Satisfactory is also a game that has given me inspiration for a type of D&D game that I think could be really interesting, which is more of a frontier-based game, set in a sci-fi setting, of course. The idea would be that it'd probably be ultimately end up being based partially on my Seeker's Directive situation, which is roughly inspired by Mass Effect. And it would probably not be quite like this, right? This is just like you're working for mega corporation and you're just building factories and stuff. Obviously, if I was doing like a D&D game, it would be more D&D, right? You'd have more importance in fending off the wildlife and things like that. I think exploring would play a big part into it. Exploring obviously is pretty prominent in this game, but doesn't always feel like it. For example, like I've done very minimal exploring in this save. I've just kind of stuck to the same area and called it good. And that's worked out fine. Okay, so I'm going to need more screws and I'm going to need more of the modular frameworks. So let's grab 2 more things of screws. And come over here and get more frameworks. Or frames, rather. Grab a couple of those. And then we will bounce back to our headquarters where we will continue to assemble. And when we do that, I'm going to adjust my chair because I'm not sitting in a way that I would like. I need cased industrial beams. I missed that part of the equation. So let me fly around this way. I'll never have to worry about those guys again. Maybe I will, but not anytime soon at least. Gonna grab a couple of these. Now, the nice thing of having this station right there that I just was at, that production line, those reinforced encased industrial beams are going to be key components in the next tier of logistics. So specifically the faster belts will use those, I'm pretty sure. I don't understand the logic of adding concrete to your belts to make them faster. I guess maybe if they're sturdier, they can be faster. And that's the whole situation, but I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and throw down a manufacturer. Take a look at these. So this, aha, that's an interesting one. So the modular engine, both of these are going to require previous phases crafting components. This one needs computers and 3 levels of things that I'm not ready to automatically produce, or rather that I'm not already automatically producing. This one, however, everything here short of the 3rd component is stuff that I already am producing. So this is something that I can do. So let me go ahead and take a look at that. Before we get to that, we will be right back. right, and we are returning. What am I trying to do? Okay. I did want to take a second to check how we were on volume, make sure everything was okay, and I think we are good. I think the gun is a good kind of gauge of that whole situation. So, we're probably going to spend the rest of this stream, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does take the rest of this stream, establishing a production line for this. All right, so the smart plating is almost certainly going to need the assembler. Remember correctly. This is the part that we actually have to actually set up. Oh, let's make sure I was taking the right numbers here. Okay, yeah, it was all the same. So smart plating is going to take 2 reinforced plates and 2 rotor. We do have rotors and reinforced iron plates being made. We have rubber being made. We have motors being made. So I think we're going to be good on all of these materials. I think we can probably set this up near where our motors are being produced to keep things simple. The difficult part is going to be the rubber, largely because we will have to ship that to where we are establishing this. So, let's see. Just going to mark these as they are already being made, so I don't need to worry about them. So I'll need an assembler and a manufacturer. So that is a pretty light requirement, but there is something else we are inevitably going to need, which is going to be a truck station, or, well, 2 specifically. And then maybe the Explorer is the ideal way to bring that. It's only slightly, it's only 1 slot smaller inventory. And, oh, this can't be automated, huh? Okay. So in that case, the truck or the tractor would both be valid. I kind of just... Oh, if we do the tractor, we're already good on the materials. The truck would need a couple circuit boards, and well, I would need to go pick up 1 more motor. I haven't grabbed motors for a while. Probably got a bit of a stockpile, though. Shoot, let's do it. I want to start using trucks for my vehicles anyway, so this will be just kind of like the first one in line. So I grabbed some materials, so let's make some circuit boards real quick. Obviously, this is something that we would automate later, but for this, it is just a quick thing to build. We'll get our heavy modular frame that we need. And then we're going to restock on some of our materials. We're going to need more screws. Screws should be the only standard material that we might need. So we'll just grab that, grab the partial stack, and that should be good. Now we bounce our way on over to where our motors are being produced, just on the other side of this hill. At this point, I feel like I should just make a little walkway for it, like a little walkway going over the hill, but I don't know. I don't know if that's actually going to be that necessary in the end. So this is the spot, right? We have a truck station here that unloads a truck that feeds stators into here to make motors. Speaking of motors, we'll just grab a full, we'll just trade out for a full stack. And buddy, you look kind of stuck, so let's see if we can just dispose of you. That's terrible. But it's probably fine. They're kind of a nuisance. They get in the way of crafting, and this one is literally just stuck, so it wasn't going anywhere anyway. So I only need the 2 buildings. So I might, whoops, want one further there. Since I don't need much, we're just gonna kind of follow the way that this has been going and just extend it out a little bit further. If we ever need concrete, we can get it right there. Alright, so essentially what's going to happen is... Shoot, can I fit that many? Yeah. What's going to happen is we're going to change how this is done. I think the first step needs to be making a splitter. Do we want just a splitter? Yes. We want to see, this is putting out 5 per minute, so even if that's getting halved, we're still good. Is that all the stators that it got? Why? I have to look into that. That doesn't seem right. But we'll go ahead and do that. We'll set up our storage container there. And then on the other side of this belt, we will establish our manufacturer. Which we're going to just go ahead and slap its big ol' form right over here. Actually, whoops. We can actually put it furthest over there in line with that. That way, that's just a straight shot into this. That'll be a modular engine. Now, the thing we're going to have to figure out how we want to do I need to remember that there's actually some more things that I need to put into this. I need to put in the... because I don't want to make this another vehicle station that then ships to the space elevator. I would much rather just move the space elevator closer, as I've done every other time. So we're going to do that. I think stuff over here is going to be much more important to clear. I can go ahead and put... okay. Yeah, why is the truck only getting like, what, 8? We need to look into that. Maybe it's not waiting enough at the spots to get the proper amount of materials. I don't know. Yeah, so before we go too much further, I want to check a couple things. First of which is grabbing the space elevator. It doesn't need to be over there anymore. It's not doing any good being over there. So we're just going to go take it. That jump right there is one of those ones that having the jetpack would be really good for. But it is what it is. We don't have it yet. We'll have it eventually. After we get packaged fluid transport. Because then we can make start making fuel, which we can then just store. Oh, you know what? All this, let's see, this fully needs to just come down because we're moving it. But all of this as well, all of this is serving no purpose at this point. So, truly, we might as well just tear it all down, right? This steel isn't serving a purpose. Do I need steel for anything? What is this making? This is just the versatile frameworks. No, you need to stop. Yeah, at the moment, I don't think there is much use to this, so we'll tear it down, and then if we can find a use for it later, maybe we will. Maybe we'll just upgrade our reinforced steel beam production line, because that would benefit greatly. From the extra coal and such. Since I wouldn't need to use it there. But for now, we're just tearing things down. We're just going to burn off the excess. I'm just going to burn down the things that I am sure I can do without. The rest we'll hold on to. We probably don't need this much concrete, and I could just go put that back in its storage, but it's fine. The plastic I definitely want to hold on to, and I don't want to risk losing it, so we're going to throw it in there. And we're going to continue tearing down the rest of this real quick before we continue. Once we're done, we can return to our standard foundry area, and we can check that out, because I think we need to see if there is something there that is that we can do to make sure our motor production is continuing as it should. Alright, we are full inventory once more. Is stuff that'll be left on the ground, and actually, let's just tear it all down. because we can come back and we can pick up these crates later. It doesn't matter what they're doing right now. None of this is necessary to maintain, so we won't. There may be better ways of doing this. Faster, more efficient ways, maybe, but I feel in this moment that it'll be more effective to clear out the bulk and then sweep up the excess after the fact. The platform we're not going to bother with. The platform isn't hurting anybody. But, you know, like that we might wait, because otherwise we're going to create a floating crate that's going to be a nightmare to reach. I didn't expect to spend probably, what, 5 to 10 minutes, shoot, probably closer to 10 to 15 minutes on just clearing out existing constructions. Let's go ahead and just do this. The screws I'm gonna leave because I know I've got more. Or because I know that, no, actually, I think, yeah, actually, screws was something that we were running pretty low on, so I'm gonna make sure that we're not just throwing away all of our screws. Now, we cannot possibly leave this many crates on the radar, so we're going to try to clean that up as quickly as we can. It seems like I missed a power pole. I don't know how I let that slip by me. Alright, crates abound. Now, some of these are kind of high, so they might pose some difficulty. It looks like we got it, though. Alright, so it looks like the rest of the crates are on the platform, so I think we're good as far as the other stuff goes. I wish there was a button like F or space or something that I could hit to just automatically take everything. I don't know what game I've played that that made me think of, but I've definitely had a game where, like, maybe it was Project Zomboid. I know looting is a pretty big deal there, and doing it quickly, even. So it might have been that game, but something where you would open the inventory that you're searching or whatever. Oh, you know, I know Fallout does it. Fallout 4. They included that with the most recent entries in their games. I suppose not just Fallout 4, but also the online one, which I've been interested in playing. I know a lot of people don't like it for one reason or another. It is kind of a good example of the rampant monetization of video games in ways that some people don't like, but playing the game when they did like a free weekend or something, it was still fun to play. And I think I would be interested in playing it some more. So maybe down the line I might pick it up. Also, one thing that kind of the double-edged sword of that game, I feel like, is are these Mark IIIs? They are. Man, I feel like this could be going faster. But yeah, kind of the double-edged sword of that game is that it is heavily monetized, but in being heavily monetized, they can continue to invest in it. So they can continue to put content into the game. They can keep making cool new armors and weapons and things like that, like in the case of Fallout 4, just kind of dried up after the game launched, right? They did some DLCs, but largely the game was just, it was finished. There was nothing, no more incentive to keep investing in it, in terms of like manpower and stuff like that from their perspective. So no reason to keep putting content in the game. Unfortunately, that means that short of mods, there's nothing more to add to Fallout 4. However, Fallout 76, because it is a live service game, it keeps getting cool stuff added to it, which is kind of cool, but also, in the end, it is a shame. And I do wish it could be different. That could be not the case, but it is not different, and that is in fact the case. So, unfortunately, we just kind of have to deal with things as they are in that regard. I'm rambling, but you get the point. I would like more game, but we're not going to get more game unless we play the one that keeps making the money. So it's the struggle of these kinds of games being a thing. Alright, that should give me a fair amount of inventory space, so I should be able to continue on. I know some people have taken... I had my microphone muted in Discord, so it wasn't animating me properly. I know some people have modded Fallout 4 to bring in some of the content from Fallout 76, but, I mean, that'll only get you so far, right? Like, they haven't put in everything. Even if they do, then it's a question of, like, is it done well? Is it a faithful recreation, or is it just, some sort of overpowered mess that its creator thought was cool, which is perfectly fair. But, yeah, at least in my case, I am a little bit more picky with the mods I'll get for a game like that. Like, I don't want the stuff that I'm getting in the game to be, like, wildly overpowered, I want a nice, fair experience in the game. But either way, the main gripe there is that even if people are adding some of this content, they're not adding all of it. And of course, with it being a whole different game, it has a whole different map, so there's that too, like exploring that Fallout 76 map it can be kind of a fun part of playing the game as well, and that'll never be, well, don't say never, but not likely to be added into an offline mainline game anytime soon. All right, so with all of that, I actually do need a bunch of cables, so I'm just going to take that back. But I want to check out my steel production facility now, because the 8 stators doesn't seem right. Maybe it is, but doesn't seem right. So I haven't set up a hypertube for this path. I'm not a fan of the hypertubes. I don't like the way, I just don't like the style of them, I guess. Even if they are convenient, quick, it's just less like visually appealing to me. So if it's like, this distance is about as far as I would want to go on foot. If I was going like to my quartz, for example, I would want to have like some sort of hypertube from the base, but I don't ever have to go there because I have the materials from there shipped out to my hub, so that's not an issue. There we go. Steel beams, steel pipes. And then checking out our situation here. And let's up this to a 10-second wait as well. So it looks like it might just be, and this is completely full. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know why I don't just have that going all into it anyway. I mean, at this point, I guess I kind of am, but yeah, 5 per minute. And I would have to like upgrade everything to increase that. Like, this is giving out 60. That 60 is, well, this could do with more actually. Let's say I put that at 60. Make full use of the iron and coal it's getting. That's putting out 60 per minute. This is only using 30. So I could double that up to be using the full 60, which will make 40 steel pipes. 40 steel pipes. Pretty steel pipes will about get that to 12.5 per minute. I just need to make sure I have at least 100 wire coming in. And since this is going on a 60 capped belt, I would bet it's probably not doing... Yeah. So let's see if these are putting out 30, 45... I just bump these both up to, actually, it's doing 60. That'll do it. 5. And this is going to need to, well, it only need to be Mark IIs, huh? I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough Mark IIs for this, though. We will see. That might be it. Nope, not quite. So we'll just give this a Mark III at the end there just to make sure it's getting what it needs where it needs to get them. Alright, so that will increase that to 12.5 per minute outgoing, which is more than enough for what we're doing, so I don't know why. No, actually, no. Hold on. It seemed like the truck was emptying this out, so it was probably just a matter of how many there were for it to do. We're gonna put the center to overflow. I don't think it'll ever hit that, but honestly, why even have this? I'm just going to go right into the truck for this. I don't think there's any benefit to it having the whole thing otherwise. So for a while at least, this is going to be giving a lot more stators than it would otherwise. Because I put the whole backlog into it. All right, so with that sorted, we just need to make our space elevator. And set up a truck to feed all of the necessary materials into our manufactory. The assembler we can probably set up off of these materials here, I bet. We'll go ahead and give that those materials. This will be doing pretty well once we get, in fact, let's just power it up now so it can start loading in those motors at least. The smart plating, the smart plating was, what was it? Reinforced iron plates and rotors. So if I have an excess of rotors, because this needs 10 per minute, and this is making 4 per minute. This is making 4 per minute, so that's 8. I would need to make more rotors. So let's say I wanted to give this its own rotor production. I need 2 per minute. And a rotor is going to take iron rods and screws, easy enough to make off of what we have nearby. That'll make 4. So that'll be 1 assembler that I'll need in addition. And honestly, I can bump this down to 50% just to make the requirements a little bit lighter. So I would hopefully not need to make as many things. I need to go restock on reinforced iron plates because I don't have any. Which is funny because reinforced iron plates are what is needed for this recipe for smart plating. But that's beside the point. The important thing is that I don't know what I was saying. Anyway. Coming up here, grabbing our reinforced iron plates. We're gonna just grab our 100 or 2 and go back. Now, I don't think... Is there a way up from over here? There might be. We're gonna explore a little. I think if I did do a game, sort of a frontier-based sci-fi game, I would probably, like, I mean, this doesn't help. The map that they have for this game is pretty good. It would probably, honestly, like, you could probably have it as a good basis, and then just kind of like expand on it to make it a bigger area. So that's gonna need 10 iron ingots. And then 50 screws. Would need 12.5 iron rods. Which would need 12.5 iron ingots. So if I need 23 iron rods, instead of downgrading, I could upgrade. 22.5 is actually exactly what I need, so that works out. All right. Okay, so now if I'm gonna have a truck station, it's gonna need a fuel source. I could... Shoot. I can feel the truck on the other side. I can try to, at least. We'll figure that out when we get there. For now, we need a miner. These are impure, so I only want to have to use one of them because that's just easier to deal with. So we're going to need a miner, we're going to need a smelter. Whoa, not tens, we need singles. I'm going to need to grab iron rods. I'm also going to need stuff. So this is why we've got the production lines for everything else set up along the way. So when we end up needing things in the future, we only need to run to the places where we have them stored to be able to continue. We're good on cable, good on wire. All right, let's go back to our hub, make our miners, portable miners, to then make our Mark II miner, automated miner, rather. All right. Just to double check, yeah, one. Shoot, we actually only need a Mark I miner, don't we? But, yeah, let's just do it that way, just so that we're not going excessive on resources. Ah, yeah. Now I remember why I don't have or why I didn't have many reinforced iron plates is because I used them for that copper belt. All right, back at the site. We can go ahead and put a miner here. That is going to feed 30 iron ore into a smelter. A smelter will make iron ingots. Those will feed into a constructor, which we're going to curve this way. Those iron ingots are going to make iron rods. 22.5 of them. That is going to get a splitter on it. I'll feed into here. That's gross. Gross. It is right around there. So that will feed all 22.5 iron rods. Are going to need an assembler up this way that some of these will feed into. This will be making the smart plating. No, it won't. This will be making the reinforced iron plates. What am I missing here? These are making rotors. Reinforced iron plates we're just going to bring over. And we'll probably just, as much as I don't like it, we'll probably just run conveyor belts for now. This only needs to be making 2 per minute. So it'll be getting 10 of the iron rods, and the other constructor here, which will feed in, which would ideally feed in like so, but it can't because of the positioning. Let's see if we can make this magic happen. That we can. This will be making screws of the leftover iron rods. It needs a boost to 50. That'll be using the 12.5, and then that feed from there. Let's see, this is connecting to 2 things, so if we just do like this, we're all taken care of. This will have our rotors for our smart plating. Smart plating is going to need another assembler, which we'll just put here. And we'll do like this. And cap that out. I did. I should have given all of these their own. You know what? It's not too late. Alright, and like I said, I don't like it. but we're gonna go with it. These reinforced iron plates, we're just going to take the long way back to where the reinforced iron plates live, and let's go a more straight path. So we can actually see on our radar, reinforced iron plates are this way. Straight this way. And the way I was going would be a little bit out of the way. My cat is getting into a cabinet. So if you hear the noise of a cabinet door, that is precisely why. Alright, do conveyor lift coming down here. Continue on our way. This is atrocious, and I long for the time when I no longer need to do this. But right now I still do. Because I am not about to make another vehicle station for this same project. I need more iron plates. Completely forgot that I would need a lot of iron plates for a long belt. How's that happen? Who knows? Now, my reinforced iron plates, I should have enough to feed into the, like, 2 per minute that I need. If I don't, they probably sit stagnant at just about full most times anyway, so there shouldn't be any issue there. But I will double check just to make sure. See, if we look at this, just about full. I just took some recently. It puts out 5 per minute, so even if, you know, we're using 3, what was I trying to say? I don't know, but anyway, it works. That's the important thing. It's going to be fine. Stop worrying about it. Don't panic. All right. I think that should do it. Now, if we go back here, we'll see them starting to ship out along this route. So that means the only thing left is going to be rubber. Buzzabiel. Buzzabiel. Why does your mic sound so nice today? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm sitting close to it or something. Maybe I'm just that good. Anyway, there are safer routes to go, but this is pretty much a straight shot to where I need to go, so we're gonna... Oops, I fell. It's like you're... If you're like 6 inches from it, it sounds great. Yeah. Yeah. That does seem to be the case. I've been doing... I have been sitting a bit closer to my mic more recently. Did you follow me out here, you bastard? You stay off my property, you varmints. Anyway. We're gonna go ahead and just do this. Actually, this one we can just feed right to the thing. That's probably fine, because we only need one more, and that's going to be attached to the vehicle station. Sat real close to my mic while I was doing the voiceover for AF. Turned off my AC and everything and did lots of takes. It took like 5 hours. It was melting by the end of it. Jaw hurt too, but it sounded great. Yeah, that is the way it tends to go with those kinds of things. I know when I was auditioning for voice stuff a lot, I went through a similar high temperature struggle. This had happened during spring, huh? Well, you know. Es lavator. Floor is too steep. Where can I put it? Missing iron rod? What kind of absolute nonsense? I could build a platform, but I'm just going to abandon it later when I move the space elevator for the 4th time. You know, I kind of wish the sliding wasn't as picky as it is when you start going slightly uphill. Because you can go a little uphill with the slides. But if you go too uphill, you're done. Yeah, speaking of abandoning platforms, that's what happened over there. There once was a incredible facility built there, and then I destroyed it all and left the platform behind. Yellow slug. What am I doing again? We are riding the belt. Riding the belt won't help. I forgot that there is a lift on it. And instead of going through the cave this time, I'm just going to go around the side. Scrolling through Reddit, saw a post on FETT, and some dude was like, can I modify, rename things for a system? Like, every comment there was basically, just learn JavaScript. Up and out, say, just change language files if you only want to rename things. Yeah, I mean... I bet a lot of the people who say just learn JavaScript are also D&D 5e DMs as well. And the reason I say that is because that's very similar to the advice of, you're the DM, just make it up. Which isn't good advice. Oh yeah, I was doing the elevator. But yeah, you see that advice a lot with 5e because Wizards of the Coast made 5e in such a way that it is not prepared in the slightest to actually help the DMs learn how to be DMs. There is foliage in my foundations. This will not stand. 5e is made great for players. Like, players got it made with 5e. It's made terrible for the DM, though. Yeah. Like, if you put in the effort and everything, you can, like, figure things out. But, like, you shouldn't have to figure out everything. What is up here? Do you have secrets for me? Oh, no, it's just a sphere or a summer sloop, isn't it? You do nothing, I do not care for you.
Harvest.
I do really like the audio that they do for these things, though. It's for the same reason that I really like the Mesmer in Subnautica. It is coming, the elevator of space. And all of these things flying through are just... Okay, they got through in time, but man, if they were a little slower. This looks way better when I'm not running the game on minimum settings for the sake of streaming. Alright, there it is. That's all we needed. I'm on the wrong list of things. Are you kidding me? It is so close, though. How could you do this to me? I haven't watched it in a couple months. Yeah, it sounded like you were going pretty hard on it for a while, but I mean the burnout on Critical Role can be severe. Okay, so I said I was going to do a truck station. Truck station that I think I will arrange up here. We'll just run this right into the terrain. Do one more row. Now we will live. We're gonna... Actually, I could probably... Did I make two? You can probably get by on 2-meter ramps. And we're just gonna have those go all the way as well, because why not? Because we need a truck to go up it. It's because, like, you can't just skip things or you miss out, and also they goof off a bunch and there's lots of details. Basically, they play D&D and it's hard to keep up if you're not personally in the game, super invested. Yeah, that's true. I did like watching it live when I did that for a while, because like I did that for a good chunk of or for the bulk of campaign 1, and then for the first like 100 episodes of campaign 2, and honestly, I think the only reason I actually stopped was because of COVID kind of, interrupting everything in the world. All right, truck, platform. I'll go ahead and make the actual truck station over this side here. And then that'll be an unload station. We'll just slap it onto the wire here. We will make a conveyor belt. Conveyor belt will go this way. I'm missing iron plates. It will become Mark II. This is okay. Actually, how many... Ah, yeah. It would get by on a Mark 1, but... Unfortunately... That... would require me running back yet again. And I am not going to. Which way is up? Let's just go ahead and give this a one of these and there, and bam, it's done. Problem solved. Yeah, just want to see. Oh yeah, I forgot that is got a backlog. All right, so now I just need to go set up. I just need to go set up a truck station and then hope that on coal it would have enough to get back here. If not, I might need to just route fuel to this side as well, because it is kind of a far way as go, but I don't think it's further than the quartz is going, so I think I should be good. It'd be going from here to here. This one goes from here down to here. So that's pretty close in distance. If a truck can make the trip, then I'm sure... or if a tractor can make the trip for the quartz, I'm sure a truck can make the trip for the... this thing that I'm talking about. The rubber. So for the purpose of this, I am going to switch it back to producing rubber. Now, you know what? I'm going to set up a different station out there. I'm going to grab some materials. I might set up a different station out there. For now, I'll probably just have it on the one rubber we had, which I don't think is going to be making enough to keep up with everything else, but... You know, I was talking to someone about GURPS recently. I don't know if like they hadn't heard about it or something, or just weren't familiar with it. I'm also not terribly familiar with it. I know kind of its general purpose, but man, it does not seem like the best solution to what it does. But you know, it seems like a lot, and just the fact that there's like, you know, I don't know, it from what I had seen of it, it seemed like a very community supported situation for anything that wasn't like, you know, whatever was just put out with it initially. So like if you wanted stuff for other settings and stuff, it seemed like it was like the community was the one were the ones making it, and that isn't always a great solution. Because communities for games, they can sure make a lot of stuff, but sometimes it's not the best stuff. Not even sometimes not even acceptable stuff. So I remember I was fiddling with reconfiguring a game system for specifically the 5e game system in Foundry to do something. I don't remember specifically what I wanted to do, um, but man, it was way too much effort to even think about trying. Don't play GURPS is good advice. Didn't I just get concrete? Did I really use it all? Jeez. I kind of cut it close on what I was building. I didn't even run into an issue. Concrete. Yes. I should process these slugs. And also this stinger protein. I can put the flowers, the protein. Why do I have miner? I can put the leaves. I can put the wood. Someday, this biomass may get used, if it is lucky. Alright, now off to the oil spot. I'm not actually sure if I have a reasonably near source of coal by the oil. I don't think I do, but we're gonna check. And if I don't, we're gonna try to come up with some other solution for fueling this truck then. I bet if down the line, you know, they added teleportation, that'd be super nice. Because I think there's some items that suggest that like teleportation could be a thing in the future that currently just don't have a use. But that could also just be wishful thinking. Shoot, even if they just made a thing where you could like have items go into a box and that box would teleport its contents to a different box, like that would be pretty handy. Kind of undo the need for vehicles and trains and drones and such, though. Phase 6 required for teleportation. You know, honestly, I feel like there is genuinely a benefit to the excess of, or there's not even an excess of phases. It's just you got to do a lot with them. I do like having the phases there just so I can be like doing something and having like I could be told to do a thing and it gives me like purpose in the game. Whereas like with Minecraft, it's just like you know you get to a point where you just have no purpose anymore. Uh, what's it like to be in phase 2 in AF? Um, well, you know, it makes sense so far. It's been pretty good. You know, there's been a gradual build up to where we're at, and I'm just not looking forward to phase 3 because that's usually the part where you start to get tired of it. Let's see. What am I doing? What was I doing? What am I doing? How am I doing on plastic? I'm doing pretty good on plastic. Let's take it. Now we'll come back for it. Okay, so if I made truck station, right here would probably be a good spot for it. Just kind of expand the platform out, you know, an amount in a direction. Well, the nice thing about D&D, right, is you don't have like you don't end up being told like, okay, now go mindlessly grind out 50,000 of this thing, you know. Um, the That's actually why I've been kind of playing this save and Satisfactory a little bit different. Um, Basically, the way I've been doing it is if at any point there is a material that I need for one of the phase components or for one of the milestones, I set up a production line, even a very basic one, even if it's not producing a lot. I set up some sort of production line to start automating those components. So I've spent about as much time in this save as I have in the previous one, which got to phase 4, like had just started phase 4. But in this one, I have a lot more things being automated than in my previous save, which is part of why I wanted to switch to doing a new save, is because I wanted to see if I could do it in such a way that wouldn't feel like just an absolute drag. So I need the rubber. What if this was... Let's see. How can I do this that keeps it relatively neat? I can do it there. That's not the best, but it'll get the job done. Um, hmm. How much is this putting out? I need like 15 rubber. This could be putting out 20. Um, which it'll be getting split into 10 if I use just a normal splitter. So I don't want to use just a normal splitter. I want to use a smart splitter that will dump overflow into the storage path. Did I already have one? Jeez. Need 15 bear pelts and 20 blood flowers. The bears spawn in groups of 3 every 3 hours. 70 other people are doing this quest. The blood flowers are super rare and have a 1% chance of spawning every 20 minutes in this very broad area. 300 people are also doing this quest. Yeah, I mean, that's the way it used to be, at least. I think at least some developers have realized that, that's kind of a drag when you have to fight with a bunch of other people for the same thing that everyone is doing. So, this is overflow. This is Annie. Let us do like this. Up you go. There we go. World PvP is something I've never. Well, I shouldn't say never. So I haven't often engaged with. I don't generally do PvP a lot anyway, but World PvP is especially rough because it's just like, well, you know, you're out here doing whatever you want to do, but this guy is out here too, and he wants to murder your face. So have fun. That said, I have played games that do like open world PvP and stuff, and been fine with it. I've engaged in the world PvP and stuff even, but now, like, if you're trying to just go about your business, you should never be forced into PvP, I think. Unless you choose to be on a PvP server, you shouldn't be forced into it. But at that point, you're not being forced into it, you're choosing to. So, it's a little bit different at that point. Just gonna do that so the truck doesn't end up trying to drive through there. These trucks are crazy. Hold on, excuse me, what? These trucks do not know what is good for them. They go wherever they please. It is up to us to keep them safe. In fact, I should probably even just... I think I deleted my rails. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so a truck will be able to come in here, be like, woo, and turn around and go. The problem is fueling the truck. Do I have coal anywhere around here? The fact that it's not already pinging does not inspire hope. Oh boy, that's a little ways away. Well, about that. So I might need to fuel it from the other side then. Which is probably going to mean more disgustingly long belts. Um, let's see if we can figure this out in a way that is satisfying. I do not expect to do so, but we will see. Terrible at DMing when it comes to pacing, too used to running for one player where things happen fast. How the hell do you do travel scenes? How do searches work? That's, well, see, here's the thing. 5e won't ever tell you, that's for sure. Um, that's interesting. I am currently running games for 3 different groups. And the different approaches to things within the parties, because one of the groups is entirely new players. The other 2 are decently veteran players in each group. But even then, like, the way that they will approach situations is different across the board. I do think that A5E definitely helped with figuring out how to approach certain situations like that. I still haven't like quite nailed it when it comes to like the travel stuff. I think I've got some things to sort out there still, but for the most part, it works well. Like it gives you the good tools that maybe if I read through them more in depth and stuff, I would have a better handle on. But it's definitely a lot better than anything O5E will give you. That's interesting with Critical Role because it's like when you like they do like 4 or 5 hour episodes, and a campaign is what, like probably close to 200 episodes. Yeah, 120 plus. Yeah, because I think that the part where I fell off on campaign 2 was around episode 100, and they went for a while after that. But like a single arc could only end up being, a couple episodes. Like shoot, like thinking back on it with campaign 1, I thought like there was a lot of stuff before they got to the what is it? All of the Percy stuff. Like before they got into like his personal arc. I thought there was like a ton of stuff before that, but looking back at it, there was only like, you know, it was only like maybe 20 episodes in or something like that, I feel like. and you feel like a lot happened. Yeah, that could be the real hard part. I feel like because um, still 20 weeks of content though. It is, but like it feels like it's a lot, and also like it's not to me. I think the discrepancy for me, what it comes down to, is that the perspective of what an episode is. Or for them, it's anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of content, whereas like any other show, right, is 30 minutes to an hour. Honestly, 30 to 45 minutes of episode, which covers a lot less than anything that would be covered in a similar amount of time of like D&D stuff, unless of course what's being covered in that time in D&D is just a fight, in which case that can fill time pretty easily. Well, honestly, like when I'm filling out like a travel segment, like using A5E as the basis, I'll usually, you know, with my probably rough understanding of how they intend you to use those systems, I'll kind of pick out what the duration of the journey is probably going to be, or rather than duration, the length, the actual amount of ground covered, because then the length can be determined based on if the party's using vehicles or is mounted or whatever, or if they're on foot, and stuff like that. But then I'll just go through and usually use their tables to fill out what happens along the journey. Trying to do a lot of stuff that's not necessarily combat, but also a lot of stuff that is combat. And then, if they're on the road for a month and they fight, you know, 20 things in that time span, honestly, that'd probably be more than what a month would cover. I think for a month long journey, I've done segments that are probably like, I did one where I did every day was an encounter, um, whether it's travel scenery or combat or whatever. And then I quickly realized like that's too much stuff. Um, but more recently, I've set up like 1 month journeys where I have my waypoints along the way, and they might stop and do stuff in these towns that they're passing through. Because usually, you're not going to be going for, you know, months of travel without seeing some sort of settlement, I figure. So, um, kind of continue with that example, like I've done um, this month long journey, and they start at one town, they go through three towns, and they end up at the final destination, right? So, um, three waypoints where they might do other stuff, but then the actual month of journeying in between is probably what, anywhere from, it's probably like 10 plus combat encounters and then a handful of other things. So I've used combat a lot, even if it's not like the focus of the campaign. Oh yeah, environmental challenges. The environmental challenges are fun too because it's like the way that I've done my journeys is it's usually like probably slightly less than half combat, probably about half challenges, and then some like scenery and social encounters along the way. But it's the bulk is exploration challenges and combat. So since it is, generally D&D is a combat focused game, even if you're doing something that expands on other stuff like A5e and all that. But yeah, I think the exploration challenges are really fun because they can have prominent stakes. They are a really prominent factor in fucking with the party's supplies. You have a lot of them that are just like, okay, if you fail this one, you lose, 1d8 plus 3 supply or something like that. Or, certain ones where if you get like a critical failure, you lose all your supply and then you're just like, you got to deal with that. So that's fun. But they could also be good opportunities to use some of the character capabilities without it being a fight, which is a thing that I like about it. Because still, like what a lot of people think of when they think D&D is, you're going around and you're fighting monsters, and that's kind of the thing. But exploration challenges provide a good alternative to that. All right, so what I've done here is I've added in a stupid long conveyor belt that I hate. That will feed coal into my truck station, and then once that's done, my truck can leave from here and cross over to where all the oil is. Honestly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this section. I'm going to have the platform still raised, but I'm going to give it sort of a bridge that crosses over towards towards the way that it's going to be going so that I don't have to deal with the trucks running into one another. So I feel like the truck should be able to navigate this platform well enough. I'm going to put in railings to make sure that it doesn't drive off the edge. Even if it does, it'll fix itself, but if it doesn't, that's all the better. I probably don't need that rail. It's mostly the actual ledges I'm worried about. And once it's on the path, I don't have any worry. It's just as it's trying to turn around here, vehicles will find ways to fuck themselves up. So I do think that let's see. I have an idea ruminating in my mind for an encounter. One of those that's just pure shenanigans. Don't know if I want to do it all. I mean, why not? What's the worst that could happen? All right. Well, it looks like, short of the coal actually arriving here, I've done everything to set up this truck station. We'll go ahead and build the truck actually while we're at it. Truck comes in, it'll probably do like one of those. So once the truck has fuel, we can actually drive it out and start plotting its course to its destination. Before we end things here, I should finish this bit out. And I'm doing this because there is at least one truck that drives under here, and I don't want to have to deal with this truck also colliding with others. So we're just going to give it a bridge, a very, very simple bridge. And call it good. So it'll probably drive out this way. Come around here. Go down the hill. Ascending and descending these hills shouldn't be any issue for the truck. The part that will be an issue is going to be the fact that I can't have it go there, so I'll probably actually have it come up around here. Kind of loop around the terrain here, kind of get into this spat, until I can get it to the coast. Then I just drive up the coast, and we're golden. Did say in your bio 20% of the game should be shenanigans. Shenanigans are important. Without shenanigans, what would even be the point? If I had built a bridge or something like this for where my other trucks cross over, that would have been a really good idea, but I didn't. Shenanigans before horror. Surely the coal has got to be on the way sometime soon. But we're not going to wait here and do plotting out the course. Actually, I think it's kind of an odd time, but I think I am probably going to go ahead and call the stream here pretty soon. Do you do shenanigans before horror or after? What did I do? Who even knows, man? But yeah, I think this is gonna be, let's see, that 1D was extra because of my fat fingies. I was just asking, do you, not did you, do you do shenanigans before horror or after? What do you mean by that? I'm not sure I understand. Like a preference kind of a thing, or what are you asking me? I mean, honestly, I don't plan for shenanigans as a DM. I just try to always be ready as much as I can for when they inevitably happen. So ultimately, what it comes down to is, you know, crushing the hopes and dreams of my players is kind of interspersed with the shenanigans a little bit. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna probably end the stream, so maybe we'll just talk on Discord. Whoops. I didn't want to get into the truck. I wanted to look at its workbench. All right. Yeah. So with all that said, we had some talk about the indie and all that. We did some things. We've got our modular engines or whatever they're called ready to start being crafted once we set up our route for our truck here to load up rubber from our refinery, bring it down the coast back to this station. So everyone who has been watching, everybody in the chat, anybody lurking behind the scenes, anybody checking out the VOD on YouTube after the fact, thank you guys so much for coming by. I appreciate you each and every one. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next time. Until then, have a good one.